Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Putty, and welcome back for another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, the best damn territorial wrestling on the planet today. It's true! It's damn true. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the battle for the Mid-Atlantic. Tonight, we are in the MAW zone. Tonight, we have a 15-man battle royal to determine the number one contender for the Mid-Atlantic Championship, where it all begins again, our big anniversary show in October. I have a very itchy nose at the moment, which is not going to serve me well if I continue this recording with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the MAW zone. The economy and the wrestling industry are rising. We're going towards a boom year for 2025, which will be the last year of the series before I take a short and long medium-sized break from recording MAW and turn the save over to you. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it tonight. There's a lot to be talked about, but we're kicking things off with a first time ever match because American Elemental is taking on Marvelous Marv Statler. And we have a great almost opening matchup between these two. Colorful Japanese influenced style of AML, who of course has been here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling as a special attraction ever since he headed off to Japan for a long period of time. But here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling is one of the earliest places where we got to see his unique brand of fast-paced, fluid, technical wrestling, going from hold to hold, working over opponents like Marvelous Marv Statler. These two clashed many a time in tag team competition. Never one-on-one. And tonight, Marvelous Marv Statler tries to rank up that pace, tries to ramp it up, and tries to hang with the speed of American Elemental. We've seen before that Marvelous Marv Statler, his throws, his technical prowess with suplexes, with throws, with drags, with some submissions here and there, Marv Statler is able to really pick up the pace. Not many technicians in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling have been able to hang with the pace of Marvelous Marv Statler. So if anyone could hang with the pace of American Elemental, you'd think it would be him. And indeed, Marvelous Marv gives a great account of himself tonight, going hold to hold for American Elemental, going rope to rope, pillar to post, really hanging with the Japanese sensation, with a man who is almost certainly dead set to become a huge star in Japan over the next 10 years. Marvelous Marv Statler hangs with him, but American Elemental just has too much pace, too much color, and sucks in that energy of the Mid-Atlantic wrestling crowd to pick up the victory with that American Earth Breaker. Huge victory for American Elemental in his return to the promotion here tonight against Marvelous Marv. We head to the interview area where Bossman Brayfield says, "I have reached an agreement. I think it is very important that we crown the Sam Keith Classic winners, and I'm willing to do something that I wouldn't usually do if in order to achieve that. Tonight I've made an agreement with Fro Shore and Davis Wayne Newton. They will not interfere with the Sam Keith Classic matchup tonight, which will be Akira Arato and Amane Omai taking on the Southern Stars. Fro Shore and Davis Wayne Newton, they've said they will not interfere so long as they are given the open mic later tonight just before the main event, the 15-man Battle Royal. So I've agreed to that. They will not interfere in the Sam Keith Classic so long as they get an open mic. I hope that you guys don't give them too much mind when they come out later tonight." We move on to that Sam Keith Classic finale redo, of course, as Akira Arato and Amane Omai take on the Southern Stars, Animal Harker and Tennessee William. It's basically it's not quite a redo, because in the original match, the Japanese tag team Arato and Omai tried to isolate Tennessee Williams and eventually gave up on that tactic. This time they don't even try. They start with Arato, who calls out Animal Harker, who stares the man. He's got stitches on his jaw, he's got stitches on his head, as Animal Harker and Akira Arato from their previous encounter, and he just gives the "just bring it" motion to the big southern beast. And of course Animal Harker tags in and steps into the ring, and they go head to head, and the fighting spirit exudes from both men. Two of the most hot-blooded, two of the biggest men in Mid-Atlantic today. They can break planets with their strength. And they go face to face, and the crowd starts going crazy. And of course, Arato hits the ropes, goes for that big lariat. Animal Harker hits the ropes, tries to headbutt Arato straight in the face, and the fighting spirit Puroresu starts to exude as Arato and Animal Harker go to war. Forearms, elbows, punches, fist after fist after fist, and Animal Harker Arato lifts Animal Harker up. It's not, last time the fans went crazy for a body slam, he's taking it one step further as he hits a massive brainbuster, and just massive vibrations ring out in the arena as the fucking monster of a man, Animal Harker, gets brainbustered by Akira Arato, the wrestler, the no-nonsense Puroresu star, Akira Arato, who has continuously proven himself to be bigger and better than challenges that are put in front of him. Former Chicago wrestling champion, which puts him on the same rung as some of wrestling's greats. George Wolf, Matthew Keith, some of the best wrestlers in professional wrestling history have gone to Chicago and won that championship. And now, to continue his excursion after coming to Chicago, he's come to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and every night he seems to get better. And tonight he's going toe-to-toe, strength for strength, with Animal Harker as he whips him, Irish whip, into the turnbuckle, and snap! The top rope falls off as the Mid-Atlantic ring starts to break under the might of these two behemoths. Absolute carnage as the top rope gets flung to the outside. It was previously draped across the ring, and the referee just gets rid of it, makes sure it isn't in the way, as Omai looks very confused. He no longer has a tag rope to hold on to. The referee tells him it's fine, just tag in without the tag rope, it's fine. And in comes Amane Omai, who's fresher, who's more in, who's more up for it. And he stares Animal Harker in the face and thinks, anything Arato can do, I can do just as well. And he does that Fred Yehai second rope bounce off. He hits the second rope and comes back with a huge lariat. But Animal Harker, despite being brainbustered, despite breaking the top rope, despite being in a behemoth level clash with Akira Arato, he's not done yet, and he sends those forearms, he sends those elbows into the face of Amane Omai, and in comes Tennessee Williams with his pace and his speed, which is only increased by the fact that he's hitting that second rope now instead of the top rope. Really, really high impact stuff from Tennessee Williams as they start to work over Amane Omai, start to work over the fighting spirit of the Japanese sensation Omai there. But Omai, of course, does have that fighting spirit. He's not going to be kept down easily, and he fights back, and he bigs himself up, goes for a big drop kick, sending sending Tennessee Williams to the outside. Of course, it's a lot easier to do that now when there's only two ropes. Really, really carnage scene here. And Akira Arato is now back in. He's not the legal man, but he's back in. He's staring down Animal Harker. Big slap to the face, showing that he's not afraid of the big man. Showing that he's willing to go a few more rounds with the Southern Beast. And the two of them start to square up. They head towards that corner. Of course, there isn't a rope there anymore. There isn't a top rope there anymore. You've got to be very careful in the corners of these rings. And then Akira Arato has a terrifying idea. And he starts to position Animal Harker on the second rope, and he starts to climb to the second rope, and these ropes surely can't hold both these men, as Arato lifts Animal Harker up for the behemoth superplex from the second rope to the Southern Beast, and in comes the legal man, Amane Omai, with a huge, absolutely massive moonsault from that second rope, tags in Akira Arato, just lifts up Animal Harker, huge brainbuster. 1, 2, 3. The wrestler and his friend have won the Sam Keith Classic. Akira Arato, Amane Omai are the Sam Keith Classic winners 2024 in a match worth waiting for. Pure fighting spirit. The ring has got to be repaired before our next match. Huge victory for these two men. Both teams have earned a title shot, no doubt about that, for their efforts in this match and for beating Audi Gun during the tournament. Huge Sam Keith Classic this year, and it has finally come to a conclusion. As we move to the interview area, as the ring is getting repaired, getting ready, we have the debut of two men. Hardy Goldsworth takes the microphone off of Sweet Tabitha and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, You are looking at the most reformed man in all of professional wrestling. You are looking at Ruby Velasquez. This man used to break bodies. This man used to cut corners. This man used to be a sinner. He used to be one of the evilest men in professional wrestling. He used to go from territory to territory, breaking hearts, making kids cry. It was a bad scene. It didn't work for him. He knew that wasn't the way, but he couldn't quite put his finger on redemption. That's where I come in. My name is Holy Hardy Goldsworth, and I made this man better. I made this man truer. And you are no longer looking at the sinner, Ruby Velasquez. You are now looking at the saint. Ruby Velasquez has all the physical attributes needed to be a star. But he needed the mental ones. He needed the spiritual ones. And tonight, he will show you why his faith means so much to him. He has turned to the good side. And Ruby Velasquez will smite his foes with holy retribution. Hardy Goldsworth debuts Ruby Velasquez, who is going to be taking on the outlaw Mike Graves, and they have a wild brawl. Ruby Velasquez, of course, a big lad, 250 pounds. Well chiseled, a really big specimen of a man. And Ruby Velasquez physically stands up to Mike Graves, the outlaw, who has been on a bit of a streak lately, beating some of the biggest names in Mid-Atlantic wrestling. Mike Graves tries to use that wild, brawling style, but he's going up against Ruby Velasquez, who is a nasty striker, who is an accomplished striker. Fist straight to the jaw of Mike Graves, setting him off. Followed up by elbows and forearms. Really, really good striking from Ruby Velasquez. And he seems to really believe in himself. You know, we see a lot of rookies come into Mid-Atlantic wrestling that have confidence issues. They have problems. A lot of people, their first 5-6 matches, they don't win any of them. You see that a lot. Rookies, young guys, they come in, they lose all of their first matches. It's because of confidence. That's something Ruby Velasquez has. He is constantly in belief of himself. And anytime he seems to have a problem, he looks to Hardy Goldsworth at ringside. Hardy Goldsworth gives him a smile, gives him the thumbs up, taps on the book he has. You've got to presume that is the good book. And Ruby Velasquez gets that fury, gets that passion, and keeps fighting back with a smile on his face as he blows a kiss to the women and children at ringside. Make sure they know that he's fighting for them. He's fighting against guys like the Outlaw. He's fighting against guys like Mike Graves, and Mike Graves is put off by it. He's never seen someone so righteous. He's never fought against someone with so much belief. And he gets set off his game for that 1 second. And 1 second, as we know in professional wrestling, is all that it takes. And a roll-up from Ruby Velasquez picks up his first victory in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. One hell of a debut as he defeats the Outlaw, Mike Graves. Big victory for Ruby Velasquez. And after the match, Mike Graves is angry. Mike Graves is not one to take a loss laying down. Mike Graves is never one to accept defeat and respectfully shake his opponent's hand. And he starts to just beat the ever-loving shit out of Ruby Velasquez, stomping on his face, stomping on his body. Just really nasty, vicious strikes to Ruby Velasquez after the match. And Hardy Goldsworth obviously trying to stop it, trying to plead with the referee, get him off him. And then we see Hardy Goldsworth rips off his shirt. And he's also chiseled. Hardy Goldsworth is a wrestler as well. And he's got the ability to fight for what's right. And he takes it to Mike Graves and he chases him off. And we see Ruby Velasquez and Hardy Goldsworth standing tall at the end of the match. Of course, Hardy Goldsworth ripped off his shirt. His collar was still completely intact. So yeah, of course, still a man of the cloth, even though he ripped off all of his cloth. The debut of Ruby Velasquez and Hardy Goldsworth, definitely a successful one for them. We move on to a quick match between Sam Robinson and Earl Martin. Sam Robinson, of course, a slick technical wrestler from the Mid-Atlantic Dojo, working hold for hold with Earl Martin here. Earl Martin, the fast-talking, fast-working SWF alum, came here to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, wants to pay his dues, work his way through the territories. But tonight, he's unable to stand up to the pure technical prowess of Sam Robinson. Earl Martin is a jack of all trades, but as we have seen over the years, a master of none. And when he's facing someone who is so sure in their craft as Sam Robinson just a pure technician. Definitely the apprentice, or one of Sam Keith's apprentices, in his pure technical prowess. And picks up the victory by submission. Huge win for Sam Robinson tonight. Earl Martin is no is a tough cookie, and Sam Robinson definitely earned a strong victory. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, after this match, lots of the ring crew clear out. The announcers head to the back. Some of the fans leave. The others are turning their back because, of course, it is now time for Frozier and Davis Wayne Newton to have an open mic. And none of the ring crew want to be there because they probably think it's quite dangerous to be there when Frozier and Davis Wayne Newton are about. And a lot of fans just don't want to hear what those bastards have to say anymore. There's no point in it. But they're out anyway. They've got a mic each, and they get on it. And Frozier and Davis Wayne Newton crouches in the middle of the ring and says, a lot of people have asked us why we attacked Audi Goon, why we ruined the Sam Keith Classic. I think that's the wrong question to ask, because there isn't reason, there isn't rhyme to men who have lost everything. I earned a championship opportunity 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I haven't had a singles opportunity once since then. How is that fair? How is that fair? That's the question you need to ask. How can that be allowed to happen? You know what my philosophy is, what my attitude is? You can't give a shit anymore. You can't care about these things, otherwise it tears you asunder. So tranquilo. Relax. Calm down. Let's just watch the world burn. Let's just put a fire on everything that this company and this establishment holds dear. Because if they're unhappy, that's a win. Because they're the ones keeping us down. Because they're the ones who are responsible for everything that has happened in our lives. You know, Fro gets it, finally. It's taken him a while, but he gets it, right, Fro? And Fro was originally just lying on the turnbuckles. And he gets off, he picks up the mic and says, yeah, you know, I used to believe you were crazy. I used to believe that you were genuinely mentally unstable, bro. I used to believe that you would snap, that something had just gone wrong in your mental capabilities. But you're right. There's no point in it. I have given everything to professional wrestling. I have lost everything. My wife, my kids, my apartment in California, everything that I worked the first 25 years of my life to achieve, taken from me because I dared to try to get a better life. Because I dared to try to make something of myself in this business. Because I dared to get ahead when the machine wasn't behind me. I dared to have a fan base when Bossman Brayfield and Sam fucking Keith said that I didn't deserve one. I dared to be a good wrestler. And I got everything ripped from me. And I tried to keep walking the line. To keep carrying on. And to be the guy that I used to be. Because I felt like that was the only way that I could get something from this. That if I changed, if I became something else, that it would all not be for nothing. Because it wouldn't be me at the end of the day. But you know what? Being who I was isn't going to get me anywhere. And I'm sorry to break it to you, Gary Walker. Oh, jeez, I just opened up my taskbar. I'm sorry to break it to you, Gary Walker. But it's not going to happen. You can be as good as you are. You can be as good as I was. But it doesn't matter. Because they didn't choose you. They chose guys like George Wolf. They chose guys like Greg Gage. They chose guys like Logan Wolfsbane, like James Diaz. Those are the guys they put on the posters. They put on the trucks that they give editorials to on the website, that get interview time. Those are the guys they want on top. Not me, not Davis, not guys like Gary Walker, not American Elemental. None of us. We've been so good for so long, but it's not going to mean anything if we don't get the opportunities. And you know what? I'm sick and tired. I've given too much to keep caring about this company. So I'm done. And you know what, Davis? You're right. Sometimes it feels good just to know that the guys who fucking hate you are squirming. sometimes it feels good to know that guys like Bossman Brayfield, guys like Sam Keith, guys like everybody who runs one of those dirty territories, one of those corrupt, horrid businesses, that they're just squirming, that something hasn't gone their way. So now we're going to do what we want to do. And quite frankly, we're done giving a shit. So we're going to stay out here, and we're going to beat the shit out of 15 men who want an opportunity. Because if we are not going to get an opportunity, then no one is. And they head to ringside, they get steel chairs, they start to sit on them in the ring. And it seems like they want to stay out here for the battle for the Mid-Atlantic, our main event 15-man battle royal. But out comes Clinton Adams and Darren Gurgel, the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions, Audi Goon. And immediately, Froshore and Davis Wayne are legging it. Both Audi Goon members have kendo sticks. Both Audi Goon members have equalizers. They're done taking the shit from Froshore and Davis Wayne. Of course, Audi Goon, two of the original people attacked by the dastardly tag team a couple of months ago, and chase off Froshore and Davis Wayne to make sure that we will have a main event. But powerful words from Fro and Davis Wayne Newton tonight. Their motivations are clear, and there's not much you can do to stop them. You can't reason someone out of a position they haven't been reasoned into, and both men have definitely lost the ability to reason. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our main event of the evening. 15 men, over-the-top rules. The last man remaining in the match will be the number one contender at where it all begins again. Who will that be? Let's find out. And in our main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, huge battle royal. We got guys like Dennis Bartlett, like Dewey Archer, Darren Gurgel, Clinton Adams, Al Nice, Cameron Jones, Sid Collier, Gary Walker. Hardy Goldsworth is in the match with his debut. Papa Dan is in the match. We have a huge... Robin DeLay is in the match. I'm not sure if I already mentioned him. Robin DeLay is in the match. Robin DeLay... Huge performance from him. Of course, he's a big lad, big man, Robin DeLay. Really brutal professional wrestler. And last couple of months, he's been on fire. He's had a World Heavyweight Championship shot. He won the Ripcord Invitational this year. Throwing man after man. Out goes Dewey Archer. Out goes Dennis Bartlett. Out goes Johnny Needham. Out goes Cameron Jones. As the animal, Robin DeLay, is unleashed. Takes a second, because he's doing so well, to get on the top rope and start taunting. To start being that guy. And he's willing, ready, and able to win this match. He senses it. One more opportunity at the big stage, the main event of where it all begins again. And he looks around. Papa Dan, George Wolf, Robin DeLay, and Gary Walker. 4 men left in the ring. 4 men looking for that opportunity. But I don't think Papa Dan is looking for an opportunity to main event the October show. I think Papa Dan just wants to have one more great match with George Wolf. The 2 men are on pretty good terms these days. You know, they've always been on good terms. I don't think George Wolf and Papa Dan ever were on bad terms. When George Wolf was cast out of Team Progress, so was Papa Dan. And Papa Dan has gotten on good terms with Robin DeLay. But George Wolf hasn't forgiven Robin DeLay. George Wolf has never forgiven Robin DeLay for the treatment of Papa Dan during the Team Progress breakup. Well, the first breakup. Of course, Team Progress still exists. It's just Marv Statler and Logan Wolfsbane. And I think George Wolf, Papa Dan, and Robin DeLay have to have some sort of interaction here. Where Papa's like, no, George, let's just have a friendly match. He's good now. He's chosen the correct path. He's chosen good. He's fighting for good. He was a young lad. He was a young boy, you know. Robin DeLay was so young in Team Progress. People make mistakes. You made mistakes. The whole point of Team Progress was to teach people how to avoid your mistakes. So you know you made mistakes. Forgiveness now, George. But George can't do it. He just can't look past the past. He can't look past the Robin DeLay that he knew. The dastardly, corner-cutting, brutal bastard that was Robin DeLay. And he can't do it. And he goes to war, fists of fury, lefts and rights to Robin DeLay, beating up his former protege, hitting him with those lariats, those drop kicks. But Papa Dan gets involved. He tries to stop George Wolf. He's like, George, stop it. Seriously, this is brutal. Just have a wrestling match. You two are so good wrestlers now. But that distraction is enough. Robin DeLay is down on the ground. And as Papa Dan and George Wolf are distracted, in comes Gary Walker, who's going to take this opportunity, lifts both Papa Dan and George Wolf over the top rope, and we are down 2-2. Gary Walker, Robin DeLay, the two men who have fought Logan Wolfsbane this year. They shake hands and they go at it. Lefts, rights, elbows, some basic technical wrestling, maybe a go behind, a takedown, a little bit of grappling just to keep Mid-Atlantic fans happy. But it's mostly a brawl. It's just but it's a passionate, spirited brawl. It's not one of those Memphis style, I want to hurt you so bad brawls. It's strikes to try and incapacitate your opponent. That's the point of this brawl. That's all it is. And mainly for Gary Walker, it's not measured, it's not striking like we've seen earlier. It is brawling. It's throwing a punch because that's all he does. But he throws it with so much heart, shows it with so much passion, that everyone gets behind him and believes in him. And the crowd starts to ramp up, starts chanting for Gary Walker. Gary Walker is the ultimate underdog. And the fact that he's in the final two of the Battle of the Mid-Atlantic, the battle for the Mid-Atlantic, is a huge accomplishment on its own. Winning it would be one of the greatest upsets in professional wrestling history. And it wouldn't be amiss if Robin DeLay was the man to win it. You know, Robin DeLay, odds-on favourite of the last two right now. Absolutely 100%. There's no way that Gary Walker is favoured over Robin DeLay. And Robin DeLay's a great guy. He deserves that main event, and I'm sure Gary Walker would be happy to give it to him, but he's not giving it to him without a fight. And of course, the passion, the fury, and the fight of the entertainer Gary Walker, who had to fight so hard to even get into the professional wrestling business in the first place. For sure said it was impossible. That he wasn't one of the chosen few. That he was never going to get ahead in this business. And all of those words are probably circling around Gary Walker's head. Dewey Archer, Logan Wolfsbane, they've all called him a jobber. They've all called him an enhancement talent. That he'll never get ahead, that he should just stick to being an entertainer. But he's had to fight so hard, and every step of the way, he has gotten messages from fans. He's gotten that reaction from crowds who are seeing a guy who was never meant to succeed. And it is so heart-inspiring for so many people to see a guy fighting against adversity, against cheating, against everything that has possibly been bearing down on him, and saying, no, I'm not going to give up. I will succeed even if I'm not supposed to. And that is exactly what makes Gary Walker special. And he fights against Robin DeLay tonight. Not against the man Robin DeLay, but against the idea that he's not supposed to succeed. And every time he gets thrown over the top rope, he clings to those ropes. Because he just wants it so much more than everybody else. Because he's had to fight for everything. And he just claws his way back into the ring, just like he had to claw his way onto that announcer's booth, just had to claw his way through wrestling school only 2 years ago, and he dodges a spear from Robin DeLay, and he lifts his legs, and Robin DeLay goes toppling over the top rope, is bemused, is almost angry. But ladies and gentlemen, Gary Walker, Super Gary Walker, is the Battle for the Mid-Atlantic champion. And he is going to where it all begins again to face the big money monster James Diaz. I'm not saying Gary Walker has a chance, because let's be honest, he doesn't. But that is going to be a huge occasion for Super Gary Walker. After the match, Robin DeLay gets in the ring. He goes head to head with Gary Walker, and it looks like there's going to be some aggression. Maybe Robin DeLay's going to go back down the wrong path, but then Robin looks at Papa Dan and nods, and he extends his hand. And Gary Walker and Robin DeLay, the two men who have been fighting the most against Logan Wolfsbane this year, show some respect. A small embrace, and then Robin vacates the ring to allow Gary Walker to enjoy it. Streamers fall from the streamers come at them from the crowd. Confetti falls from the sky. We have a feel like sparklers, not proper fireworks, but some sparklers. And Gary Walker points at the "Where It All Begins Again" sign, and Gary Walker is going to where it all begins again. He's gonna main event a match. He's gonna main event an event at the Ace Speedway. For everyone who's told him he can't do it, this is a massive coup for Super Gary Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you particularly enjoyed the show and are feeling especially generous, there is a link to my Patreon in the description. If you want to hear me ramble on Twitter, there's a link to that in the description as well. I very much sincerely hope you enjoyed. Next episode, ladies and gentlemen, is The Clash. No matches announced, mystery card, but one thing is for sure, I will announce a match. The Southern Stars are going to be facing Audi Gooden for the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championships, and more, because ladies and gentlemen, that is of course the go-home show to where it all begins again. Join me then, my throat is killing me, so I'm going to end the episode off now before I cough. Peace out.